It's your time to turn and burn. And we're going to do a take two on this because I went to download the video that I shot last night in the middle of the night, and guess what? It was corrupted. Very first time that's happened. Well, Jerry here is your 24, man. After we've gone through it completely top to bottom, head to toe. And we're going to take a quick couple minutes. We're going to talk about what I found on the inside of this thing. Jerry sent this thing to me. He says he was getting a gigawatt out of it. The wattage that he was telling me he was getting out of this amp is not even feasible at 14 volts, but it's okay. Now, I'm not going to drag out the Tech 9 8-pill that I had sitting here last night as the driver. You'll see that in the test portion of the video, which is a part 2, which is going to come right after this clip. So just understand I'm having to go back and re-record this, and I got to redocument what I did. Anyhow, Jerry sent this to me, said seen a huge power fall off, or power output fall off in the box, and he wanted me to go through it. And a couple of the things that I noticed were, hold on, boop, rewind. Okay, so we're going to go back into storyline just for a second. Jerry told me he got this box for a pretty good deal. He got it from a buddy of his that it would just go around to CB shop after CB shop, and they'd get it running. It'd run for a little while and then break, and then run for a little while and break, and then run for a little while and break. And he wanted to get it so he could make it run a little bit more reliably. He also said that he was getting an insane amount of power out of it, something that I can't get it to replicate to do. I don't know of anybody else that can get a 24 pill to do 5,000 watts bird and modulate forward. Never fall back. Now, I've had 24, 32, 48, and 64 pill in a Mobile, and you can't get a 24 pill to do that on 14 volts. It just doesn't do it. He says it does. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm not calling anybody a fibber. I'm not calling anybody other than, I can't get it to do it. This is the best that I can get out of this 24 pill. Here we go. So this thing would run and then break down, run and 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 break down. And he said he also wanted me to redo the capacitor bank. And then one of the other requests that he had was to replace the power leads that were all butchered up from all the years of soldering irons being inside the thing. Now, if you go back and look at the pre-entrance videos, you'll see that there was a bunch of capacitors scattered throughout, and this whole area was really cluttered. And there was a lot of stuff that was screwed up. Like the little mini coax coming off the combiner in the back. Up here, most of them were broke off the board. We had 2 or 3 that the output tuning capacitors were broke up off the board, or they were making intermittent contact. You could sit there and tap them. They'd hop up and down on the board. They weren't soldered all the way down. The other thing I found, Jerry, is that multiple of the output tuning caps, you had 180s in this spot of these, and multiple of those, the capacitance was gone out of the caps. It just didn't exist anymore. This one wasn't even attached. This one was burned. This one was at 80. This one was at like 110. This one was at like maybe 15. I mean, they were all off. So I went ahead and I ripped all those out. That and all the solder work on them for where people had soldered them, unsoldered them, soldered them, unsoldered them, soldered them, unsoldered them over the years. It was horrible. So I pulled all that out and resoldered everything and made it look all nice and clean and neat down inside there again. The other thing I did is I took it out of the cabinet and I washed it. Now, this cabinet's got this splatter coat finish on it, right? Well, they sprayed some kind of metal kind of paint on it. Well, they didn't, I don't know how they went about painting it, but that was all in through the cabinet. There's a little bit of it left on this output transformer, but every single thing on the inside of this box had that paint on it. I would probably bet that this metal material, this flake material, is semiconductive at some level. So I took the whole board out, took it outside, used about 1.5 gallons worth of acetone and completely washed this box. Took all the flux out of it, or off of it, all the dirt and the grime and the grit and all the crap that was around all the transistors, as you guys seen in the intro pictures, and got it all cleaned up again. Then what I did is I pulled out this power wire. Totally pulled this from the box. Stripped everything out of the middle of this thing. Like I said, washed it, and then I came back in and I went into the process of putting it all back together. First thing I did is I replaced this interior distribution bus bar because it had been soldered to and there was holes blown in it and there was weak spots from all the times that people soldered into it. Went ahead and drilled holes through the PCB board, through the phenolic, put outputs, and replaced all the positive leads. And also with that in turn, I built you a brand new ground wire for it. This isn't crimped, but in the same breath, I don't see it being soldered anywhere. So it's kind of a mystery how that was held in there. I mean, there's some solder down in there, but... So what I did, Jerry, is I got you a brand new Anderson clip. This is brand new, 100% new. This is hydraulically crimped and soldered, each one of these posts. This wire's never coming out of there. Got you a brand new eyelet. This is hydraulically pressure crimped and also soldered. And then I ran you all brand new power wire. Ran it down underneath the board, brought it up through, and everything's got ferrite on it, where before it did not. So that should probably help you deal with some of the squealing problem that you might have been having with RFI getting onto the positive lead of the electrical system for the truck. Got that squared away, cleaned up the output tune, replaced the 180s with 150s. I came over and had to add a little bit of induction to it, replaced the output tuning coil with a brand new one, and retapped it for the right amount of Henry turns in it. And then the other thing I did was, this is your output tuning tube. I cannot get this to move. Come to find out, there's only a single little tiny paper, I mean literally the thickness of a piece of paper Teflon, that's on these tubes. This isn't a high enough kVA for the amount of output wattage that is going to happen with this box. So this is welded in place. There's a hole burnt somewhere on the inside of this, and it's welded itself to the inside of the tuning tube. That could have been part of your problem too. So I pulled this out, replaced it with a new output tuning tube. This is 5 layers thick. Now it's got a little bit less capacitance than that because its distance from ground on the internal tube is greater, but it has a higher kVA rating. So we got rid of the little 100 puff cap that was there, and we went to a 125 puff doorknob that's at the base of the output tune, and retuned your output section. New inductance, new capacitance, redid your input tune. As you'll see in the test video, it's down to about a half a watt or less. And then we added a capacitor bank to it for you, both sides, instead of having it cluttered around in here. And I found that the 2 caps that were around this output section, the RF was literally arcing from the output combiner over to the ground edge of the cap. That was another huge major problem. So we got the electrical safety issues fixed, got the tuning issues fixed, got all the shitty solder work fixed, and let's see, one of these 2 input caps had gone bad also, and replaced that. Cleaned up the cabinet behind the bolt, and while I had this out of the cabinet, I took and laid it into the bag of shot, got out my shot hammer, and I knocked the back cabinet back flat, nice and straight and smooth for you, because that was bent. I also replaced the wires that were coming from the input and output coax connectors. They were pieces of like old RG74 solid core conductor wire for like the old high wattage coax. It was a center conductor for that, and they were both broke off. So I replaced those with pieces of Teflon wire, stranded, so it can flex and have a little bit of movement. Did it on both sides. Cleaned up your can circuit. Pretty much got you squared away. The other thing is I got this whole front edge of the cabinet that was bent and buckled, got it nailed down nice and straight, got the lid all beat down nice and straight, so now everything mashes up. All of the PIM nuts that hold the screws in, I had to re-PIM nut this corner one here, and I could have re-PIM nut this one, but the hole's already been ogged out, so this is the only one I wasn't able to PIM nut. So everything else on this thing is now square and straight. I went and I rebuilt your remote jack that you have here, and if you can remember, Jerry, there was like 3 or 4 different splices in this where somebody put electrical tape around it, and this wasn't Teflon or heat-rated wire. It was soft PCB wire, which we can't have on a positive circuit down next to the board like this. It'll melt because this is going to get hotter than it. Yeah, hotter than an evil person in hell's ass. And that was it. Input tunes right, output tunes right, and put it all back together for you. Anyhow, let's see, did I miss anything? I think that's about it. Like I said, Jerry, here's your old Anderson clip. These are usually not recyclable, so I'm going to end up throwing this in the trash, and here's your brand new one. Well, Jerry, I'm going to slap the lid on this, and I'm going to send it off to you, and you guys in video land are going to get to enjoy the test portion, which is real short, because, I mean, there's just not a whole lot to it. Key it down, test it, full bore output, done deal. Jerry, thanks. Gentlemen, enjoy the next portion of the video. We'll see you. Bye. Okay, Jerry, we got the lid back on this puppy. Now, it's going to get real loud here in a minute, and there's not a whole lot of magic to this. We're going to hit it, and then we're going to quit it, so it's going to be quick. Because I can sit here and modulate it all day long, it's going to do the same thing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to show our drive. Remember, that's reading as a 10,000 watt slug in PEP. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. At 110, 120 watts coming out of that radio looks really pathetic. Here, we'll look at it on average. Bird K, 10K slug. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. First things first, we're going to show what it's talking through the amp. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello. Okay. First, we're going to hit the 24 pill with just the straight radio. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. With just the straight radio hitting it, we're seeing what? 1,000 bird and 2,400 PEP or some crazy thing, right? Loafing it. Let's go ahead and fire down on the 2x8. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Now, if you notice, on the right, hello, audio, doing about 1,000 peak watts. Here on the left, hello, audio. We're doing about 500-600 bird. Let's hit it and quit it, boys. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Pretty straightforward. 6,000 peak, 6,000 to 6,300 peak, and 3,000 bird. 24 pill, Fat Boy, rebuilt, redone, and working right. Input tune's good, output tune is good. That's all I can say for you, brother. Jerry, I appreciate you, man. That's it. That's all I've got. I'm going to put the screws back in it. We're going to get a shipping quote. We're going to send her back home to you tomorrow. Gentlemen, my name is BBI, and without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Come check us out, www.bbiamps.com. Come find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, and please subscribe to the channel. Come on. Just a little button, right down there. All you gotta do is click on it. Guys, thank you. I cannot do this without your all support. I appreciate all the projects I got going on right now. Gentlemen, I'll catch you on the bowl. I'll see you. Bye.